Hey there, I'm JP, and in this part 1 of Custom Tools, I will show you on how to use these wonderful tools made by Mellow. You can find all of these tools back in my Discord in the channel Custom Tools, which you can find a link in the description. We're going to start off with Color Randomizer. I got two different things going on. In the end, we're going to make something fun with these leaves, but the best way to show you the color randomizer is by using objects that have 3 different color slots, which in this case is the building plans. So I'm going to select all the building plans, then go to this puzzle, custom tools, and I'm going to click on color randomizer. And as you can see, everything besides the blue in the little house and the black outline, everything else basically has changed because on this moment it is set to 1 color slot. Now there is a lot going on down here. I will try to do my best to explain it to you, but there are a few different things going on. There is basically 2 different ways of coloring in these options. We have color A and B, which is together a thing. I'm going to show you in a second what it exactly is. And we have color array from 1 to 10. The color array 1 to 10 is at this moment set to 1, which basically means it only used the first one, which is the black color, and the slot it uses is the first one, which in this case is 0. This might be a little confusing because color slot 1, 2 and 3 in this case is 0, 1 and 2. That is just how it works in scripting language, and that's what we have to deal with. Now if I want to add array 1 to 10 onto this, all I have to do is change this, for example, to 10. So I'm using all of these slots. If I click on the randomizer again, you can now see a lot happened, including some glow. That is because these last 3 are actually set on glow or the alpha. So let me just turn that off, because if you want to use this in adventure mode, this is not necessary. If I click on it again, you can now see it is turned off, and you click again, you can see we are changing the color slot number 1. Now, what if we want to change color slot number 2? Well, then we set this one to 1. Then enter and click on this again. And now you can see that the black outline of the little house is changing his color to any of these one from 1 to 10. Let's set this to 2, which is color slot number 3. This is, by the way, the max you can do, so you always know that 2 is 3. Press enter and click on it again. And now you can see that the little house is changing. So on this way, you can just set any color you like in here and just, change whatever you want. And if I just click on this again, it will now apply any of these colors. Also for 1 and then for 0. Click on this again and see it now gives the colors. Now you might wonder, well, what is this up here? Well, this will only work if you turn the color array, which is these guys, off. What happens right now if I would click on color randomizer is this. It chooses a shade what is between this color and this color. The best way to show you this is by just making this white, making this black, and click again. It's gonna be handy if I click black. There we go. And now you can see very well that it chooses a shade, white, black, and everything between it. Now, to be real honest, I'm not sure if there would be a way to do this, but I wish there was an extra option which would say apply to all color slots. So you can just do all color slots in once. For now, you just have to change this from 0 to 2 if you want to change some color slots. So now that I have showed you guys this, I'm just going to delete this, and we're going to come to the leaves. We're going to select all the leaves. I'm going to click on this color randomizer, and I'm going to change this guy to a certain yellow and a certain darkish red. Maybe this one, well, that's the same. So let's click on that. Let's click on color randomizer, and now as you can see, you can very quick add different colors to this leaves without having to do that manually for each and every leaf. The next tool is the random position and rotation tool. Just going to select this and duplicate it to the other side, and there is a reason for that. You first would like to test the tool and see if everything is set as you want to, and go to the randomize tool, which is up here. And I click on it, everything goes everywhere. If I click on it again, it will just keep randomizing things to the left, to the right, and up and down. And sometimes this is absolutely not what you want, because if you want to have leaves on the ground all spread out, you don't want it to go up and down as happens right now. So in this case, what I would do is first click on the position rotation tool and then just take a look at what is going on down here. Now, Y is always up and down. So in this case, this number for position will make it up and down. This one makes it rotate around the up and down. Z is forwards to backwards, so it makes it move like that, and rotate it also around that way. And of course, X is left to right and will make it rotate around that way. So in this case, what I want is have the leaves spread out all over the ground, making it left, right, rotate, left and right, and that kind of thing. So basically all I think I have to do is set this to 0. I don't want it to go up and down. I don't want it to rotate it up and down. So in this case, I need to have Z, 0 or Z, just depends on where on earth you live. Put this to 0. If I would select everything again and test it, you can now see it spreads out on the ground. Now, I don't find the rotation very powerful at this moment. So let's put it on 50. I am going to undo this. Let's click it again. And as you can see, it is now spreading out way more. And if I would set this to 100 to just go crazy, you can now see it spreads out even more. You can also see it spreads out more like that rather than like that. And like I explained, that is because of the Z. So we can also put this on 1 and put this one on 1. The number what is standing right down there before is, I believe, the size of a 1x1 block. So if I just put this to 1, 1 and 100, I would click on it now. You can now see it spreads out a little bit crazier, but controlled. Something like that I want to say. But this is just super duper handy. We now have it smeared all over the place. You can also do that with these ones. And then just move it up like that. And place a tree. And on this way you can just create a scene in just a few couple of clicks, rather than having to rotate and move this by hand, because that is going to take a crazy amount of time. The next tool is the entity parameters. This is not a tool that I would use that quick or know how to use it that quick. Mellow just updated this tool, so let's go to custom tools. And in this case, it is the one down on top. You don't have to select anything. Sometimes you do. In this case, this tool gives you the freedom to first select it and then select something. What this tool does, for an example, if you would click this guy, right, it now shows it. And you want to know what is the distance with this guy, it shows this guy on the left side. And not only that, it shows you the name, if the pickable is turned on or off. It shows you the box size, it shows you the center of the box, it shows you the distance of the pivots of the tool block, and the angle created by rotations of those two. There is a lot of information, but then again, I am not sure where I want to use this for. There are probably reasons why you want to use it, or maybe not. That is actually all I can say about it. The next tool on this list is one heck of a game changer, and this is called the selector. Now I have once again set up some extra things in order to show you exactly what will happen. Now there is a warning though. But first, let me just open this list down here, and let's say for an example, click on this red one. You must select something before you click on the tool, or else it doesn't work. And then let's click on selector. And what you right away see is that it selects all of the same color type blocks rather than selecting all the same blocks. That is because I have set this option for color 1. And color 1 in this case is red, so it selects all of the colors that are red. But I can also turn this off and select everything by type, which if I select again on it, it will just basically, does what it normally does when you hold Control and double click. But what you can also do, in this case I had to prepare myself a little bit better, if I would keep it on type and then color 1, click again, it's going to surprise me. I would have swear if I had this one. Okay, there we go. So sometimes there are maybe bugs or things and it doesn't work right away. You just have to reselect. So what I wanted in this case is select all the 1x1 blocks which have a red color. So in this case it happened. If I would turn it off again and click this, it will select everything. Turn this back on, click on it, it will do its thing. So reselect, click it again, and then it will just select. This is also a super handy thing, because what if you got a build like this? I want to build it and there are some things which I do not really like the color of. I can just select, for example, this type of hay which has this type of brown color. I do not really agree with it. I can select the selector, select all of these colors, then hold my control, unselect, select again, so it gives me the option to colorize. And then in this case, I can just change all of the colors that I didn't like. How freaking handy is that? Make this guy president. Absolutely make this guy president. So, yeah, you see it for yourself. But there is also a but. If you would have used the color randomizer and you would use this guy down here, which selects both colors and a shade between in, it doesn't work, because this red color is a little bit different than that red color and that red color. The only way how this can work, if you use the randomizer, you would have this on, let's say for example 4, you would have like a few couple different of colors. You get the deal here. Turn this guy on, very important, then randomize it so it has now these colors here. You can see the colors are a lot more tighter. By the way, this also saves up for your amount of different colors that you use, which was a problem once on the streamer world. And now, if there is something that I wouldn't like, for example, all of these colors, I can just take the selector and then it just select all of these, unselect and select again, so I can get the color choice and just give it something else, and there you go. Now the next tool on this list is also a very handy one, and this is called the changer. What it does is change your current item to another item. I have a scene set up. I'm going to use this for an example, because if you would select this all and then you click on the changer, this will happen. Everything just changed to an iron block, which doesn't look too bad, but let me show you how you really need to use this tool. So before you select anything, just select the changer, and let's just imagine you have made a ginormous creation, and on this ginormous creation you have given all of these blocks a nice spot, but you don't like these blocks, and it's going to take up to 20 minutes to replace all of these blocks by hand. What you can do is choose the block that you would like to have in place, then first click on changer, then take this little selection tool here and select what the current block needs to be replaced with. So I'm going to select this guy, and now if I would say hold control, double click and select all of these 200-300 of these blocks, and now click on the changer, this is what happens. It replaces all of these blocks with that. So once again, are you not happy with how it looks with stones and you want to have something else? Well, click on the changer, select something you want to see. In this case, that guy. I'm going to double select on this one. Click on changer, and boom, there you go. It has switched the blocks, which is just fan-freaking-tastic. Which in this case, I'm going to continue with the next one, and this one is called how many entities. So basically, when you're working, for example, for the skyscraper competition, and you would like to know how many you have placed in your map for it to be in the blueprint, because there is 50k is the max you can set up in one blueprint. I would like to know what have I done down here and how many is it. So I'm just going to select all of these guys and then click on how many entities. I just, you know, to be honest, I really hate that word because it sounds like I'm saying something that I don't meant to say. The funniest thing is Mello actually called this one how many blocks, but you know, you can do it with a lot more things than just blocks. So I personally changed this one. It's also called like that in the Discord. If you click on this, it will tell you in the chat how many there are selected. This tool is going to save you a ginormous amount of work into your adventure mode after you place your blueprint, which is called non-pickable. So basically, if I would select this guy here, it shows that it is pickable. You don't want to turn this off by hand. What you want to do is you want to select all of these, then go to set selected as non-pickable, and I like what the chat always says, done. Now for this next tool, which is called Cleaner, I have started up a editor map which contains an island and a lot of stuff. Now it would be and could be very possible that you don't want any of the trees, bushes, rocks and whatever not in here, and instead of, you know, making drag selection box and sometimes miss stuff, we have a handy tool which is called the Cleaner. So let's click on Cleaner V2 and see what happens. And it is gone. Now it says down here entity per frame, or what it really means is it removes 500 per second. You can set this a lot higher, but you know, the higher you set something, the more it's going to ask from your PC, and say yourself that didn't take that long and it wasn't that heavy, and now everything is cleaned up. Look at this smooth boy right down here. And for this last tool called Visual Fixer, I've returned to the editor and I made a tiny bit of a scene, which you can clearly see if I move my camera that there is some glitchy stuff going on, and that is not very nice. So let's click on Visual Fixer 0.3. You're gonna get a whole storyline right down here. You can read it if you like, but basically up here you can turn things on, turn things off. You have global or you have local, and with these settings, if I would click on, for example, this one, you can now see that that one is fixed. If I would click on this one, you can now see that these ones are fixed. And if I click again on this one, you can now see that everything is fixed up. So it might not right away fix up everything. You have to do a little bit of puzzling. But in the end, as you can see, I have now fixed it. And very important, press enter to confirm. And as you can see, beautiful. Once again, you can find all of these tools in my Discord. You can find a link in the description. Big thanks to Mello for making these tools. Alright, time to clean up all the mess here. I have two options, or I can either use my broom blueprint and just try to wipe it all away like a madman, or I could just use one of the tools.